Hey friends, how are you? Hope you're well and you've had a good week. Mine has been stressful to the point that I was crying my eyes out on Tuesday night. It was just horrendous. Yes, ethics had me in tears. I just couldn't see a way forward. I couldn't really figure out what I was meant to say. And it was just like, oh. Thankfully, Mum and Dad helped me. As my supervisors, they were great. They've been, they really have helped me a lot. Mum and Dad, Wednesday night, sat down with me and helped me do parts of it as well. It's not finished. It's, I'd hoped to submit it today, but that's not going to happen. And while I'm disappointed that I haven't been able to do that, I needed to step away today. I needed to say, right, I'm having the day off. I need to clear my head, hopefully attack it, get what needs to be completed by next week. And then that's fine. I've missed the deadline for next month's ethics panel, but I've still got plenty of time till December's ethics panel. And it's not that I'm going to be losing time. I can still put things in place to be run. So I am not worrying about that. And there are other things I can do as well that are not part of ethics that will fill in time and help the end product of my thesis. So I've decided I'm just not going to get myself as stressed as I was during the week. It's not worth it. So today is the day off. I'm going out this afternoon for a coffee and to do some shopping with one of my friends, and I'm just so looking forward to it. It's just going to be so nice just to do something different. So that's kind of university. What else have I done this week? I was a glass lesson yesterday. Thoroughly enjoyed that. That was really good fun to do. And I'm enjoying what I'm making. Reading wise, it's been a good week. I have completed 3 books, I think. Yeah, I think it's 3 books I've completed, so that's good. So let's talk about them, shall we? Because that's why we're here, isn't it? To talk about books. So the first book I finished was Death on the Shelf by Allison Brook, which is a haunted library mystery. This was a NetGalley read, so I'd like to thank NetGalley, Crooked Lane Books, and Alison Brook for the e-arc of this book. This is a dual story book. You have the main murder, or the mystery of that, plus you have a secondary story. So let's go with the main story first. We meet Carrie, who is the librarian, and she is bridesmaid to her best friend Angela at her wedding. But during the wedding reception, Angela's cousin-in-law Aidan dies by falling face down into the chocolate fountain. So obviously chaos ensues, and there are various members of Angela's family who, shall we say, are in the frame for possibly wanting Aidan dead. Prime suspect is Angela's brother Tommy. So Angela's mother asks Carrie, look, you've done some amateur sleuthing before, you've been successful, will you look into Aidan's murder for us and see if you can figure out who it is, and hopefully it's not hopefully it's not one of the family, but basically try and clear them if you can, sort of idea. So we have that story going, and it's really good because you're kept guessing as to who it could be, why it could be, and you have various characters who are so well written that you're like, I don't like you. Could really be you that did it. You're just really not nice. So that was really good. Carrie as a character was really fun, really nice character, really actually a fun character, because as well as the sleuthing, you got her normal life story. So you were hearing about her days out with her boyfriend Dylan. You were hearing about her time spent with Angela when Angela came back from honeymoon. So you had that as well, her interaction with aunts and uncles and all of this. So I really liked that. I liked the fact that it wasn't just the mystery. You had her normal story as well. I thought that was really, really good. I'm not going to say much about the main story because I just don't want to give any spoilers away. We also, as I say, we have a side story, and that side story is to do with Evelyn, who is the ghost at Angela's library. Now, only Angela and her niece can actually see the ghost, nobody else can. So Evelyn has heard rumours that her niece, Michelle, is in trouble and could lose her apartment, etc. And she asks Carrie to try and help her. So Carrie surreptitiously meets Michelle. It's like very round about the houses, like, trying to work out how can I approach this woman without kind of saying, well, the ghost of your dead aunt is wanting me to help you. So how did Carrie carry that out? And that was a really nice interplay between Carrie and Michelle, and also helping other people that Carrie got to step in to help. So that was really, really nice. And also Evelyn wants Carrie to find her brother, who she is sure is not passed on because she can't feel him. So Carrie's her boyfriend Dylan runs an investigation service. So she asks his secretary to try and find Evelyn's brother. So there's that story going on as well. So I really liked the way it was written. I liked the way the plot moved. Characters were really well described and well thought out. And all the sort of scenarios and everything were really nicely done. It was a good book, and I gave it 4 out of 5. So if you're looking for a nice cozy mystery, can't say that, well, nice I suppose. If you're looking for a cozy mystery that will keep you turning the pages, I would definitely check out Death on the Shelf. It's out. Hold on till I check for you. Yes, it's published on the 9th of November, so you have a wee while till it's published, but I would definitely think of picking it up. So having read that, I decided, right, okay, I was due to start a buddy reading Monday, and I need something to kind of fill my weekend in because I'd finished that one. So I picked up A Gift for Santa by Beth Carpenter. Now, what I hadn't realised was this is part of her Alaskan series. I read Alaskan Hideaway, but there's also another 1, 2, 3. There are another 4 books in this series, or another 3 books in this series. So I'm really pleased to have sort of got this one. So in this we meet Marissa, and she is helping, I'm sure it's her aunt and uncle, run the reindeer farm. Now the reindeer farm is in a bit of a state in that it needs some cash injection, or there are repairs that need to be done, etc, etc. But the big thing is that they take the reindeers and the sleighs to these parties, whether it's kids parties, old people's home parties, things like that. And normally her Uncle Oliver runs or is the Santa because he really looks the part. Unfortunately, he's not well enough. There's something going on, but to begin with, you're not told what that is. So into the shoes steps Chris, a man who runs the local sort of he clears roads, snow ploughing and stuff like that. But he's also saving up to buy a fishing boat. He steps in to be Santa, and the story from there goes, it's his and her story basically, on how they start to make changes that will hopefully ensure the continuation of the reindeer farm. Into this is thrown a little foster child called Ryan. Oh, he is such a sweet character. I loved him. Ryan is fostered by friends of Chris's, okay, and it's only for the festive season. But Ryan loves animals, and he's become very attached to Chris's sister Dana's dog. Okay, and he comes to visit the dog, to the extent that he lets the dog out without anybody's permission. So you have Ryan in the mix, and both Marissa and Chris becoming more attached to Ryan. Chris and Marissa dated 10 years ago, and it ended not very well. And so they have to work some things out. Also, you know, we eventually find out what is wrong with Oliver, and there's that whole story as well. I have to say, I flew through this. It took me, I think, a day and a bit, or a night and a bit, to read it. It got 4.5 stars for me. I just so enjoyed it. The characters were lovely. I mean, I have to say my favourite character was Ryan. I thought he stole this book. He was just so delightful. I loved the reindeer farm. I thought it was almost like a character in its own self, and that was just so nice. There's also a story of Marissa trying to find a job within her own field, but there's been problems there. So you have all of this going on in the book, and it was just so fun to read. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you're looking for a nice book to read, it says okay, it's a gift for Santa. Does take part over the festive season, but I'll definitely pick that one up. So we then had a buddy read. So on my Kindle, I am reading Love, Lies and Hocus Pocus by, hold on, it's written down on the list because if I don't have my list, I'll forget, by Lydia Sherrer. I'm reading this with Rebecca, the Colourful Book Nester. So it's a very quick read, but we split it up. The first story I really enjoyed. We meet Lily, who is a wizard, and she works in a college library, which is just a normal library, but in the basement is basically a wizard archive. And she has a friend called Sebastian who is a witch. What is really good is that they actually tell you, the author tells you the difference between a wizard and a witch in her world. And you get a nice you get a bit of a backstory. It's not a total backstory. It's not like she became to a wizard. You know she's a wizard, but you get a few snippets from her backstory, which is nice. But Sebastian has been given a job to rid this house of a ghost. But the ghost's a really nice guy, and he's actually not there to be nasty. He is there to protect people, okay? Something happened in the past that he was cursed. But it wasn't just him that was cursed, it was the house that he's living in that was cursed. And he is trying to stop people suffering the same fate as he did. So Sebastian asks Lily to help him get rid of the curse. And that is the first story. It was a fun 2-chapter story. I enjoyed it. It was good. I liked the way that you were told exactly, how she was doing it, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Then you had kind of the epilogue, which was nice because the epilogue was Lily, so just learning a few things from what had happened in the main story. So that was good. We then had a very short story to do with Sebastian, who let a friend of his stay the night because he thought the guy was drunk and needed to spend, to sleep it off. Unfortunately for him, the guy has stolen from him, and he's stolen some family artifacts, etc. And the second story, I've only read the first 2 chapters of it. The second story is that Sebastian is trying to find this guy. but one of the artifacts that was stolen was like a time turner, and he's stuck in this place, but it's the time keeps going in a loop. So he's basically sort of, I think, like Groundhog, but you know. But he's managed to pull Lily into this, and she's like, what the heck's going on here? So she is now trying to work out how they can break the time loop and etc, etc. It's, for me at the moment, it's not as good as the first story, but I'll get it finished today, and yeah, it's been an entertaining read. So I needed something else to read this week, and I picked up Starting Over at Lane's End by Shelley Galloway. This is a Harlequin heartwarming. So we meet Jen Slater, who is a policewoman, and she was working for Cincinnati PD, but came out of that and is now working for Lane's End Police. She meets one day this really nice guy called Carrie while she's out doing some shopping, and they hit it off. So the story, this is basically the story of their friendship, and they're both kind of not too sure that they want a relationship because they both had things happen in their recent past that they're maybe not ready for a relationship. So they start off as friends. Carrie teaches maths at the local high school, and the local high school basketball team are doing really, really well. They could go to state championships, etc. So the town is caught up in basketball fever. As part of her job, Lily, being small town policewoman, she needs to get to know people, etc. But there's been a couple of things, couple of vandalism acts to which she is pulled in, and it ends up that she is seconded to the high school to try and work out if it's one of the students that's doing the vandalism. You have that side of the story of Jen making friends with the teachers, sort of befriending some of the students, etc. And she's beginning to get integrated within the town. We have obviously her developing relationship and friendship with Carrie, both of whom have beagles, and these beagles are, I'm not joking, it's like these dogs will eat anything and everything. So you have that side story as well. It was a very sweet book. It was lovely, clean romance, and I just really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5. It's the start of a series. I think I will probably continue on with the series. I just really liked the characters, liked the setting. I thought I love small town romances, and it was just a really nice book, and just really what I needed from all the stress and hassles that I've had this week. So that's kind of what I've been reading this week. What will I read this weekend? Well, obviously I will finish off Love, Lies and Hocus Pocus today. And then I'm going to pick up Louise Penny's Glass Houses. This is Superintendent Armand Gamonche book. I've never read any of Louise Penny's books before. This is going to be a first for me. This fits the prompt for the Bookish Sisters book group theme this month, which is Canadian. So Louise Penny is a Canadian author, and the setting for this book is Three Pines, which I believe is on the Canadian-American border. So it fits it beautifully. So I will be reading this, and then I have my Mills and Boon pick. Excuse me a minute. Yeah, I have my Mills and Boon pick for this month. I think it's called The Nurse's Christmas Elf. I honestly can't remember. I will leave it named down below in the book, in the description bar. I will probably get that read maybe sort of over the weekend, and maybe leave the Louise Penny till Monday. I'll just see how I feel. But that's kind of what I am going to be doing reading wise this weekend. What else am I doing this weekend? Well, there's going to be rugby. That's given. That's great. I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to maybe do some art stuff this weekend. I'm participating in the Secret Santa over on Instagram, and I'm going to maybe try and make a few things for my Secret Santa, which will be, I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'll also, if I do some art, some art stuff as well that I use for other friends' presents, it'll be really nice. I need to sort of work on my other half's Advent and stocking. I have no idea what I'm going to get him for his main present. It's like, ugh. I thought of an idea this week, and then he said something, and I'm like, oh man. So I need to rethink, but I'll find something. I always do. Always something, inspiration hits. So have any of you guys started your Christmas shopping yet? I have to say I have. I have a list on my phone on Notekeeper, and I have a list of my Christmas present, who I'm buying for, and I've actually started filling it in as to what I've got. So I'm doing pretty well, I have to say. I also this week I chose some pictures that I'm going to use for my making Christmas cards. So yes, maybe this week coming I'll actually get them made. But yeah, I know I can hear you shouting at me, going, "You're too organised. What are you talking about Christmas for? It hasn't been Halloween yet." So yeah, I can hear you screaming at me, guys. But I just decided I wanted to get as much Christmas stuff done and dusted as I can. Not because I want to get it done. I love the sort of the build up to Christmas and everything, but I just don't really want to be in amongst the shops come sort of middle of November all the way through December. That is not my idea of fun at all. So if I can get it done now, then I will be a very, very happy bunny. But that's it. My gosh, this is a long Friday reads for me, guys. Woohoo! I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It would be really nice to have some more members of my little community here. But please let me know down in the description box, have you read any of the books that I've talked about? Are there any that you fancy reading? What are you going to be reading this weekend? And what are you going to be doing? Again, it'd be really nice to know. But that's it for this video. Whatever you do, friends, stay safe and happy reading. Bye.